Ever walked into a room and felt invisible, even after you tried your best? Dress steamed, lipstick on, heart hopeful, and then nothing. I know that feeling. I used to slip into parties like a ghost in satin, so I invented something very small, a little secret that turned lights toward me without me asking. I call it the Teacup Hand, and tonight, I'm placing it in your palm. It started with a mistake. I was nervous and my hands didn't know where to live, so I picked up a teacup, white porcelain that trembled just a little, and I held it not like a waiter, not like a statue, but like a secret. Thumb and 2 fingers, soft wrist, elbow close, as if I were keeping a little bird warm. My other hand floated near my collarbone, never touching, just framing. I didn't talk first. I didn't laugh first. I let the shape of me speak. People stopped. Not because I was loud, but because I was gentle. Here's why it works. Hands are the lamps of attention. When they frenzy, people's eyes scatter. When they quiet, attention lands. A soft wrist is an invitation. A clenched wrist is a door slam. When you hold something small, your clutch, a slim glass, a folded napkin, you give your hands a mission. You look composed. You look centered. You look worth listening to. Try this with me. Pick your object. Thumb and 2 fingers take the weight. Let the wrist curve like a ribbon. Elbow kisses your side. The shoulder drops a breath lower. Now exhale through your mouth, the tiniest sigh. Feel your chest soften, your neck lengthen. That's the first spark, the quiet one. Your body becomes a promise. I am here, and I'm not going anywhere. That feeling travels faster than any sentence. I learned early that seduction isn't a thunderstorm. It's a scent that insists. It's the slow stir of a spoon in honey. The Teacup Hand says, I'm self-possessed. I hold myself. And because I hold myself, I don't need to grip you. That's irresistible. But you know what? I didn't always trust it. The night I really understood, a famous actor was talking over me, so loudly I could feel the air move. I let my hands find the teacup. My wrist softened. I turned my shoulder 1 inch, letting my collarbone catch the light. My eyes didn't chase him. They strolled. And when I finally answered, I did something wickedly soft. I smiled with only one side of my mouth. Not a grin. A whisper of a smile. He leaned in. The room did too, as if my smallness had created a vacuum. That's the lovely trick of stillness. It pulls. Now, a confession. I kept a secret in my clutch. Not a mirror, not a powder puff. A crumpled paper with 3 words. Make it easy. I wrote it for myself after a night of trying too hard. Make it easy in your voice. Make it easy in your pace. Make it easy in your hands. The Teacup Hand is ease made visible. Let's turn the lesson into practice. If you're at a bar, hold the glass near the level of your collarbone, not your lips. Elbow tucked. Let your wrist tilt slightly toward your face, as if your hand adores you. When someone speaks, don't lift the glass. Tilt your head first. Let the glass follow later, a beat behind. That delay becomes a flirtation. The room thinks, she is unhurried, she is choosing me. If you're seated, rest your object low, near your knee, and create a figure 8 with your hand. No movement, just shape. 2 soft loops. One is your face, one is your chest. Your other hand can float near your chin, thumb under, index fingers softly curved like a question mark. Remember that, the question mark. It makes people answer things they didn't know they were ready to say. Confidence, darling, is choreography. Not of the stage, of the moment. I used to panic about what to say, so I choreographed what I would do while I listened. The Teacup Hand is listening made beautiful. It says, I'm not competing with you. I'm letting you land. Let's stitch in another secret. Fabric weight. A dress that has a whisper of weight loves you back. It teaches your hips a melody. If you've ever fought a flimsy dress that clings and fusses, you know the way insecurity feels like static. But a skirt with a sly little heft at the hem makes your walk pronounce itself. Soft, then softer. That rhythm works with your hands. Heavy hem, floating wrist. You become a contradiction, and contradictions are addictive. When it comes to love, I learned a trick the hard way. The person who tries to prove they're interesting is almost always less interesting than the one who lets themselves be seen. The teacup hand helps you be seen by giving your nerves a job. Instead of fidgeting, you are framing. Instead of gripping, you are guiding. That's the difference between chasing and drawing. There's a small confession about insecurity. People think I never had any. Sweetheart, please. I took my doubts to dinner, but I trained them. How? I chose one tiny signature for the night and let it be enough. Sometimes it was a word. Lovely. That was it. I sprinkled it like pearls. Sometimes it was the way I laughed. Quiet at first, then a soft breath at the end. Sometimes it was the teacup hand. One signature. One thread through the evening's fabric. When you give your attention one home, your mind stops scattering. Your radiance sits down in the chair with you and takes off her coat. Another secret. This one for the heart. In relationships, timing is seduction's sister. So practice first yes, later no. When someone asks for your time, your brightness, your energy, your first answer can be warmth. The no, if it's needed, comes later in a softer voice. After you've felt what your body says. You don't owe anyone your instant decision. You owe yourself a moment that belongs to you. The teacup hand buys you that moment. It slows the world for you. Now watch what happens when you add a glance to the mix. Don't stare. Staring is a searchlight. Let your eyes drift to the rim of your object, the rim of the glass, the seam of the clutch. Then, lift your eyes to their mouth, and finally to their eyes. Mouth, eyes, rest. That little ladder sends a message. I notice details. I notice you. You've made the mundane sacred. Beauty is a ritual, but it's also a decision. When I felt dreadful, I would do one elegant thing before I did anything else. Not 10. 1. A clean collarbone, a polished nail, a single curve of liner, and always hands that looked like they knew a lullaby. You don't need a mirror to soften your wrist. You don't need a fortune to glow. You need breath, and the courage to slow down in a world that sprinted past you this morning. Here's a quiet test for your next entrance. Step into the doorway and don't announce yourself. Let the doorframe do it. Pretend it's a theater and you are the velvet curtain. Your hands are closed around your invisible teacup. A breath. 1, 2. Then a smile that doesn't show teeth, just shows a little secret you're keeping for yourself. Notice who turns. It will be the ones who belong to your future. Now I'm going to give you a line, but use it like perfume, very lightly. When someone asks how you are, and you don't know how to be marvelous, say, I'm taking my time tonight. Watch what happens. People respect what you respect. When you respect your pace, your energy, your small rituals, they do too. Let's talk about compliments. Make them precise like a needle, quick and clean. Compliment the effort, not the outcome. I love how you chose that color. I love the patience in what you just said. This turns admiration into intimacy because it shows listening. The teacup hand helps you listen, and listening makes desire feel safe. And since we're being honest, I'll tell you a secret about charm. I used to rehearse my disasters. Not to avoid them, but to survive them with grace. Lipstick on teeth. That silly stumble on the step. The laugh that comes out too loud. My plan was simple. When disaster visited, I'd lower my chin 1/2 inch, place my offhand near my collarbone, frame the moment, and say, oh, she's dramatic tonight. I made the mistake my little leading lady, not my enemy. And audiences forgive a star who forgives herself first. You might ask, but Marilyn, what if they still ignore me? Then you have met the wrong room. or the right moment to practice love for yourself without witnesses. The teacup hand is not about them. It's about you telling your body, I trust you. I'm here. I'm gentle with us. That message glows through fabric. Trust me. Before we go further, tell me this in the comments. Which would you try tonight? The teacup hand or the weighted hem secret? If this helped you breathe easier, tap like and subscribe so we can practice the Monroe effect together, one soft ritual at a time. Now, let's lace this with a little nighttime magic. When you sit across from someone you want to keep, protect your softness like it's royal. Keep your object, the glass, the clutch, slightly between you. Not as a wall, as a music stand. Your hands become the conductor. When they say something you love, tilt your wrist toward them. A silent yes. When you need space, tilt it toward yourself. A private keep. In private, when the door is closed and the lights are kind, practice this alone. You don't need a teacup. A pen will do. Hold it as if it writes the story of the room. Move with it from your lips to your heart to the air. You'll feel silly for a minute, which is perfect. Silly is the skin that bravery wears when she's brand new. Confidence is memory. Your body remembers how you moved the last time you didn't feel small. So give it a scene to remember. Put on a dress that knows how to fall. Step into a hallway that loves your echo. Hold your invisible teacup and say nothing for 5 seconds. Let the world walk to you. It will. In relationships, never underestimate delight. It's the yeast in love's bread. Delight is a surprise at hand level. The way you trace the rim of a glass and then run your finger along the back of his hand when you set it down. The way you tuck a strand of hair behind your ear, then let it fall back as you change your mind. The way you lift your shoulder like a shy dancer when you're thinking. Little storms, soft thunder. They keep the air charged without ever raising your voice. Now, for the hard nights. The ones where you feel like a costume without a girl inside. Sit on the edge of the bed. Put both feet on the floor. Place an invisible cup in your palm, thumb and 2 fingers, wrist soft. And tell yourself this. I can be gentle and still be powerful. I can be slow and still be chosen. I can be quiet and still be unforgettable. Do it out loud. I did. Let's touch beauty again, but simply. Choose one adornment that moves when you do. A slim bracelet that slides. A little earring with a sway. Your hands will call attention to it. Not to boast, to breathe. Motion is a whisper that says, I'm alive. Here's a sweet mischief for dates. When the check arrives, let your hand hover halfway to your bag and then pause. Look at your companion with a smile that says, thank you for this moment, not just the money. It's terribly charming. Generosity loves being seen. So does yours. Offer the tip. Offer dessert. Offer a question no one asks. What made you feel proud today? That's an exquisite key. It opens the room that people lock behind shame. If jealousy ever sneaks in, and she will, remember this. Jealousy hates hands that are calm. When I felt that sting, I wouldn't argue. I would soften my wrist, rest the object against my knee, and straighten my spine by 1 vertebra. Jealousy is a salute to something you want to protect. Return to your choreography. Breathe 3 counts. By the time you have, you'll know if the feeling was truth or a ghost. When you go home, make a small ceremony. Not a mirror ritual, something smaller. Place the day in your palm like a teacup. Name one moment you held yourself well. Then kiss your wrist. I'm serious. A woman who honors her wrist remembers to be kind to herself. I'll leave you with a picture. You, in a room you thought didn't love you back. Your dress has a little weight. Your breath has a little bass. Your hand holds a tiny secret. Thumb and 2 fingers. Soft wrist. Elbow close. Your smile is a ribbon that hasn't been tied yet. They turn without knowing why. Because softness travels. Because gentleness is the loudest thing in a room that's noisy with hurry. Because tonight, you chose to be a woman who directs the movie with her hands. That's the Monroe effect, darling. Not a trick. A memory your body can keep. Begin with the teacup hand. Let your confidence live inside it. And watch the world slow down long enough to see you.